Hello. Welcome to a grand finale episode of this week long as we celebrate 200 interviews completed here on Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C. Super excited about closing this week out with two powerhouse women that I got to meet. One that I have been serving with for quite some time. One that I had connected with just recently, but the connections are strong. I'm super excited to bring their stories, bring them back, publicly thank them for bringing their journeys and their insight on how entrepreneurship is, what were their journeys, the struggles, that building a leadership mindset moment. I'm your girl, Nikki C, all the way from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm excited about all of it. First, let's thank our lead sponsor, Carolyn Bob Green, sending her lots and lots of prayers for great healing. She was a little bit under the weather, but we have been shouting her out all week long. And she is the CEO and founder of the Training You to Succeed and the Passionpreneur. So thank you so much for continuing to believe in Balm Global and building a leadership mindset. Oh my goodness. 200 interviews, 200 conversations, 200 amazing individuals that are just everyday people going through what we call life and still overcoming all the challenges and battles. And it's an ongoing life process. It's something that never ends, but something that with the right tools or with the proper preparation can have hope at the end of the day for you to continue to build whatever your purpose is. So without further ado, we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to go over to also PA, Mechanicsburg, PA. She is a soul sister. She is a sister friend. She is a lady leader. And she is just amazing. And I am so honored and happy to have her in my life. She is Latoya Washington. So let's get her right up here. Hello, Latoya. How are you?
I'm good, beautiful. Blessings, everyone. So excited to be here.
So excited for you to be here. I just love seeing that. So I feel like I haven't seen you like forever. I think we just seen each other in November as we celebrated the 300th anniversary.
Versus me.
Goodness. The 3-year anniversary of Ladies of Leadership and the Me versus Me launch. Wow. Imagine that. I will not be here for 3 years of anniversary for Ladies of Leadership, but I hope that I really hope that what we have created goes beyond that. So I don't know why that came into my head. So weird. So tell us who you are, what you do, and where are you located?
Yes. First and foremost, thank you so much, Nikki and Balm Global Ladies of Leadership for this opportunity. 200 years. 200 interviews. Look, we going into years. Nikki said 300. I'm saying 200. Amen. So my name is Latoya Washington. I'm an entrepreneur, co-owner of Rhema Creations alongside my husband, David Washington. We've been in business for 7 years, online commerce, selling t-shirts, books, doing courses, spiritual development, drawing closer to the Lord. We offer that to the community and families. We also help individuals who may be struggling with housing, maybe struggling with food. So we have connections with local leaders and businesses that we can reach out to that are a blessing. I'm an author, been blessed to be featured in 9 anthologies and 2 self-published books. It has truly been a blessing to be able to write about the goodness of God. And then I'm the host of Broken Vessels podcast. So I am so grateful to have other women and men come and share their stories of hope and redemption and restoration. So been doing that going on 5 years come April 2025. 2026. We need to wake up, Nikki. We need to wake up. What is that?
I've been napping all day. I really have.
We need to wake up. It's been rainy and windy. I reside in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. I am from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but we live outside of the city, and I just enjoy just life. I'm learning to enjoy life in the midst of building a business and growing. So I'm just so grateful to be here, Nikki.
Yeah, I am grateful to have you here. Tony says Latoya has a huge heart and strong faith. She is truly inspiring, and that she loves her son, Latoya. Thank you so much for being on, Tony. She is our Chief Heart Officer here at Balm Global, always keeping us right and together. Natalia is also on here, another lady leader. Good evening, everyone. We have Jenny, who was in the green room. So I have to shout her out. Jenny, you need to come back to the green room. I don't want you in the chats. We need to have you back on here. She was featured this week. So if you can jump back on here, that would be great. And we want to talk to you. So we also have, she says, so amazing as well. She was the reviewer for our Me versus Me book, which was a 10 chapter of just stories of that Me versus Me moment when we only battle with ourselves, right? The stories we put in our heads, the experiences we went through, and at some point we were holding those in as if they were ours, right? We were giving life to them. And in this book, we actually share how we stepped out of that. All of the things that we had to do. We also have, you're also part of our Taking Off the Shades anthology, which is absolutely amazing. I believe we have that song and we might play it today because that was like a huge thing that happened for us in 2025 as well. So we're going to go over to, I believe, Jamaica, because we're global and we are international. And again, I met this beautiful soul through a text. I think I'm not sure, someone connected us, and we had an amazing, she was hosting an event, and I was just kind of being interviewed to see if I was a fit, right? But in that conversation, it was just so powerful. And I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna get Michelle Sinclair up on here.
Hi. It's so great to be here. Hi, Nikki. And hi, how you doing? Latoya.
Hi. Yes, how are you?
I am fantastic, thank you. I'm fantastic.
Yes, and Latoya Michelle, is this the first time you guys get to meet?
Yes.
See, this is what I love about connection and just rebringing past guests on, because they also get another opportunity to meet the amazing people that have bring their stories to the Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. So I definitely encourage you all to connect as well. Sinclair has a huge heart. I just love her smile. Her story is amazing. But she is going to tell us right now, where is she tuning in from? I probably gave it away, but still share it with us. What is it that you do and how do you serve love?
All right. So I'm actually from Jamaica, but guess what? I'm vacationing in Florida.
Oh, congratulations.
Right. So what do I do? I help you to know what your God-given purpose is in life and use that to create a career or a business that you'll absolutely love. And when persons get freaked out when they realize, oh my goodness, I'm a lawyer or I'm an actuary and it's not connected to my purpose, then what I do is I help to transition them into their purposeful career or their purposeful business so that they can have financial freedom and enjoy the journey getting there, right? Because when we hate our work, it's not enjoyable, right? It's not. And God allows us to, He gives us the ability to obtain wealth, right? The power to obtain wealth and add no sorrow. So if you're in a job or you're in a business, because some people do not even like their business, and it is not fulfilling, it's not utilizing the skills, the talents, the giftings that God has given you, what are you doing? There's another way. And so I help persons to know there's another way and transition them across.
Well, I am glad that you are vacationing. I hope it's not just work and it is some leisure. So I hope that you are enjoying yourself. So we are going to bring up Jenny Davis. She was on here, I believe, on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. And she already been recognized and all that stuff, but I really wanted her to come back on because as we're closing out 2026, look at me. And you know what? I've been typing 2026 for everything. So I think something big is happening in 2026. Like, I'm ready. Usually we are still writing 2025 or the year before in the next year, right? So 2026 is going to go down for sure for everyone. I claim that. So we're going to bring her on because I do want to talk about the me versus me, and alongside with what you guys, what has been the biggest thing for 2025 for you and what does 2026 look like. But we're going to bring up Jenny Davis, who is also a self-published author. She is just an amazing soul. Hello, Jenny. How are you today?
Hi, thanks for having me. I was not planning to pop on. I was actually just planning to watch. I wanted to make sure I watched you. Y'all don't want to know what traffic laws I broke to get here so that I can watch you. But yes, I'm here. I just wanted to be in the midst of this greatness. I was really bummed out that I couldn't watch every day. And I was like, it's the last day I gotta watch y'all. So I gotta see what's going on. So thank you so much for having me come up.
You are welcome, and I'm glad you didn't get caught and you are safe. But it was absolutely amazing. Again, getting to know you. Michaela Winston, who's one of our lady leaders, was one of the authors in the Me versus Me, and she also featured the Me versus Me in her magazine, which is Our Voices in Print, which is a phenomenal magazine where she gives that space to business owners, people, women, men, all bringing in their powerful stories. And you happen to be a reviewer for that, but she asked you to review this book. And I really want you to share your feedback on what did it do for you?
So I read the book, and I knew it was going to be a self-help book, and so I was like, oh, it's going to be good. I didn't know what to expect, but when I started reading it and getting into it, and when the conversation turned to me being standing in the way of myself, that's when it was like, oh. And I hadn't considered that before. I thought about all the things that have been thrown out to me, people saying you can't do this, or you should consider something else, and me taking that information in and internalizing it, and convincing myself that I couldn't do what I wanted to do, which was to write. I knew that I wanted to write at the age of 11, but someone very close to me said, well, how are you going to pay your bills? And I'm like, oh, and that just kind of took that dream away from me. And as I got older and became an adult, I was like, I want to write. And I wrote a book and published it, and I just didn't think about how much those words kept me from doing what I wanted to do. I probably could have written a book before I even graduated high school if I had really just thought I can do this. So that's what really struck me about Me versus Me, and limiting yourself, and how you need to look beyond that, beyond what other people say, even if it's a teacher, your parent, a mentor. Don't let anybody else put those restraints, those constraints on you. If this is something you want to do, whether you fail or not, whether you go on to greatness, at least try it, because you don't want to miss out on that opportunity or miss out on what is meant for you. and where it can take you further down the line. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate it. And the book we're talking about is The Me versus Me, and it's the journey of overcoming self sabotage. Look at these amazing women. This was actually featured when in New York City on the billboard on Broadway, where we were able to get together some of the ladies that were able to make it out. And it was just so fulfilling when we were able to see that just on the jumbotron and looking at all of the ladies' faces like we did that was like, those are our stories in print. And this book is going to go further. So don't keep your eye off of this book. We are definitely bringing it into 2026, where we're going to also help those that have that me versus me moment. And this could be a successful entrepreneur making 7 figures and above. This can be for that just everyday person just trying to get started. Because at every level of our success or every room that we enter, it's a different experience, a different moment. And sometimes we retract to those limiting beliefs that we had as friends before, and we thought we overcame them, but something could trigger them again. And we just want you to be prepared at all times. And I believe that that's what the Me versus Me book does. So thank you, Jenny, for sharing. We have some more questions for you as well. Latoya, what was your you were part of this anthology, and what was your experience through the process, the biggest takeaway that you got out of writing your chapter, and what would you advise someone who's probably having a me versus me moment right now?
I would say the experience was wonderful. I enjoyed our weekly meetings, the ones I could jump on to hear the critiques and hear the ladies say maybe add this and go deeper, because that's exactly what happened when I read my chapter. And so I was like, okay, Lord, yeah, I need to go deeper and reveal, the what went on at that time. What was the challenge? What was causing me to be stuck? And be honest with myself and say it was because I was afraid or I wasn't sure. Or like Jenny said, I've heard some things from people. How is that going to happen? You have this, statistic and all these different things that kind of are thrown at us that we then start to stop from moving forward. So I'm grateful that we had those meetings and I got to hear another perspective. I appreciated Tony. I mean, Tony sat and edited and was going over things and use this word, or what do you feel about this? And it just was such a smooth process. That's what I really enjoyed. What I also enjoyed was the fact that I got to pause for a minute and to really reflect over what God has seen me through, right? What God had shown me that, look, if you just keep your eyes on me, I know you were afraid. I know you weren't sure. I know you weren't certain, but look at where I'm going to take you. So I had to face myself, and that's what my chapter's called, Facing Myself. I couldn't blame anything on the devil. This was me, right? I couldn't blame nothing on nobody. It was me that was, hindering myself because I was listening to those words. I was listening to the naysayers. I was, falling under that pressure, that sometimes happens in life. And life be life and sometimes. And but what was so beautiful about this is that there was unity. There was us ladies together, and I was not alone. There was other ladies who experienced this same cycle of self-sabotage and not feeling worthy. It's like, you are worthy, right? You are beautifully and wonderfully made in the image of God. You are worthy. This is going to be a blessing to other women, a blessing to even men, blessing you. Whoever's going to touch this book, I'm telling you, is going to be encouraged, is going to be uplifted. Another thing, what else? I don't want to go on a tangent because I keep going. Is I would say that experience at Times Square and going to New York, I wasn't able to physically be at Times Square, but seeing the joy on my sisters' faces and then being in the room together in New York, it was the white room and it was so beautiful and we're all in there. We definitely cried. It was just such a peaceful, I couldn't even explain. I kept telling Nikki, this was so peaceful. This was so intimate and everybody was smiling and you could feel the joy and it felt good to be loved. You know, sometimes people say they love you, but in this season, God is revealing to me, no, people really do love you. I love you. And I can feel it. I can embrace it. So that's what I got out of it. What I would say to others who are watching or who will read this book, um, it's okay to be you. It's okay to embrace those flaws because God will use them. All those cracks, all those crevices, all those things that you feel are unusable, He will use it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, love. So powerful. It's just, it's only you versus you. It really is. And it takes just a little tweak, a little shift, one day at a time. Either you posture yourself in community, you take one next step to that certification, you write that first chapter, you start that podcast. I remember when I started building a leadership mindset, I was actually on audio first. And I would literally be in my basement, whatever my thought was that morning. And I'm like, you could literally hear me like panting. I was like walking back and forth, just passionate about the words that were coming out of my mouth. And that's how it starts. And it took someone to get me on to do it because true transparency, it's hard for me to go live. It's hard. Like people don't believe that. They say, "Oh, well, no, Nikki's on it. She's always excited." Yeah, when that white light right now or that red light, green light, whatever it's on that camera goes on, it's go time for sure. But the moment before that, it's like you have to breathe, you have to take it in. And I'm like, well, what do you have to lose? Just go ahead and tell what you want to tell and share your heart because that's what God told you to do. So just love it. Thank you so much, Latoya. Glad I was able to just clear my mind off of that non-existent thought for myself. Like, you know, it didn't exist anymore. I had to get away from that. So we're going to go over to Michelle because I know Michelle had a me versus me moment. We shared it on the podcast. And we definitely want you to check out the podcast. But tell us a little bit about what does those words mean to you? And can you share a me versus me moment with the world and how you were able to overcome that?
Okay, so first of all, I want to say congrats to Ginny and Latoya, and I'm listening to you, and I feel so tearful because I understand the journey that it takes to get there. So just to imagine you guys being on Times Square and everything, wow, congrats. Um, so the other day, probably about last week, I was reminded of a me versus me moment. So I wanted to do financial education. It was not something that was being done at the time. And one of the things I would have had to have done is to write. And the question was asked of me, have you ever written anything that anybody has read apart from a lecturer, Michelle? And my answer was no. And my colleagues who were really caring about me were saying, Michelle, this is going to be such a disaster. So 2 weeks ago, I saw a Facebook memory pop up. You know those memories, right? And
Yeah.
it was 12 years ago. It was one of the first articles in my local newspaper, and I did not want anybody to see it. Because I was so nervous. Would people hate it? Would they think other people should have written? My style was unconventional, everything was just unconventional about the way in which I knew God wanted me to do this thing. As a matter of fact, we have something called the financial gleaner, and that's where financial people write. And I remember he said, Michelle, what you're writing cannot go in the Financial Gleaner. I said, I don't want it in there. They said, well, where do you want it? I said, where people actually read it. Right? So it was another part of the Gleaner. But I digressed a little bit. So this Facebook memory, here it was, and it was reminding me I did not want anybody to read it. So how did it reach on Facebook? My best friend, who I was telling I didn't want anybody to read it. And so she just took a picture of it and posted it out there on Facebook and called me and said, look what I did. So that was one of my me versus me moments, putting things out there and not wanting to be seen. And so I know that there's somebody here who is experiencing that. And why that is so important is what's on the other side of you just going with it. So when I started reflecting on that article, I then realized that I went on after that. I went. I just saw what just popped up on the screen. I went on after that to have over 200 published articles in the newspaper. I was on every radio station in my country at least once per month. I would have spoken to over 20,000 people. No, 200,000 people in terms of presentations, right? And in terms of touching lives, over 1 million people on the radio. These were all things that in the moment when I got the opportunity, I was so scared to do. I was so scared to do it that when I got the opportunity, I stalled on it for 1 whole year because it didn't make sense and I wasn't qualified and I had every single excuse in the book. I even made up excuses to be afraid. And so I understand that fear. And that's why when you talked about the Times Square thing, oh gosh, because I know how much has to be overcome. You know, I think a lot of times people will look on. So right now we're on this podcast and people are looking and taking inspiration from us and all of that. But we were where you were. It's just that either somebody like a Belinda decided to put me on full blast, or one day you realize that what are you doing? I'll give you another example of a me versus me moment, and this is something that's recent. So I left my job. I've been a part of that organization for 20 years. And yes, I was speaking publicly for them, but not under my name, under their name, for the most part. I did some other things, but And the first major thing that I did was the Purpose to Prosperity Summit, where I would have been gathering international experts to come and speak. And my me versus me moment was, one, I'm not from the United States. I'm from a small island called Jamaica. Who is going to say yes to me? Michelle, have you ever done anything like this before? No. What are you doing? And then I started thinking to myself when I would be recording, who is going to listen? My accent is not an American accent. It's not an accent that people are used to. Will they understand me? Will they tune in? Will they like me? That's a me versus me. And then eventually it was, okay, so what? Did God tell you to do it? Yes. Okay, so what are you going to do? Obey or disobey? What are you going to do? And then guess what? I realized it was not about me. It's not about me. And if you're listening, it's not about you. It's about him. It's about him. What has he created you to do? And are you going to go to the grave having not done it? There's a scripture where Jesus said, I brought glory to you here on earth by completing, not starting, not doing, completing what you have sent me to do. And that's what we're all here to do, bring glory to him. So let's stop focusing on me. If we focus on me, we'll focus on the confidence, self-confidence. What we need to focus on is God confidence.
I love that. Thank you so much. I am also going to take a quick break. We are going to have about a 2-minute video. It's one of our theme songs for On Purpose. This is our Empower to Empower tour, Empower to Inspire tour that we are taking, that kicked off in May, where we also launched the Taking Off the Shades. And I remember when Michelle got on the podcast and heard that song, it was just amazing. So I have to play it back for her and for all of you. So let's take a quick moment and listen to that.
When was the last time you gave yourself permission to seek healing? Take off the shade, stop the cycle. It's your time to build, to rise, to lead on purpose. I used to quiet the roar in my chest, played it small, second guessed. But now I see what I was born to do. Dreams don't wait, why should you? All those voices, they don't define me. I broke the loop, I rewrote the timing. Now every step's got fire beneath, 'cause playing safe won't bring me peace. I dream it, I build it, I elevate it. No more shade, I finally faced it. I hold the pen, I write the climb. This is my chapter, this is my time. Empowered to move, inspired to win. What if you never begin? So I rise on purpose by design. It's not someday, it's my time. Tired of tired, I stood up tall, let the fear rise, then watched it fall. The cost of waiting's way too high. I'd rather leap than wonder why. What are you gonna lose if you never choose? This is your permission slip, signed by you. Make it count, get it done, command your presence, let the world see you shine. They told me to wait, I said if not now, when? I built it from gold, I won't pretend that I'm not made to lead again and again. I dream it, I build it, I elevate it. No more shade, I finally faced it. I hold the pen, I write the climb. This is my chapter, this is my time. Empowered to move, inspired to win. What if you never begin? So I rise on purpose by design. It's not someday, it's my time. On purpose. Your story starts now.
I love it.
You see Michelle dancing in the green the whole time.
I love that song.
Thank you so much to Raquel Soto and Isaiah for creating this song. This is one of 3 that we have, so we're definitely on a mission to get a full Ladies of Leadership Balm Global album for 2026 that is on the action board, on the vision board, on the move board, whatever board you want to call it, it's on there. So we're well on our way. But the biggest reason also why I wanted to share it, if you hear the words and if you know, if you have been a part of Balm Global in any kind of way, you've joined us on our virtual platforms, you've seen us, some of our copy, those are every single lines that we live by: making it count, living on purpose, in your purpose, on purpose. So thank you so much, Raquel Soto, for that. Had to shout her out. She was just on here yesterday. I didn't even play it for her, but we had 6 people and we went a little bit over. But Sinclair, I'm going to ask just everyone, what are your thoughts about some of the words that kind of stuck out, whether it was the melody, the beat, what part of it? And when you hear it, what is the first thing that comes to mind? So I'm going to start with you, Jenny.
Well, I mean, I got to say, it was motivational. It, inspired me. It was, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do now? Kind of thing, kind of a thought for me. It was very positive and encouraging you to do something, to keep moving, to keep going. So I'm like listening to, I'm like, oh my God, what do I need to do next? I need to, so I'm like, okay, I'm here. What do I need to do next? And so, yeah, so it had me thinking, and I'm like, okay, yeah. So I loved it. It's something I listened to on the way to work, to, start my day. So I'm like, I'm about to walk into a world of crazy. This will give me that motivation to get through it. So it's amazing. I am so that is, I'm blown away. A whole album of, yeah, we need this. We need this.
Yes, I will definitely send you the playlist of all of them. We have a few for the we have one for our oh my God, I can't even think because I'm just so excited about just how this has added so much value just to the mission, right? I also listen to them every day, which keeps me going, right? When I have either the taking off the shades moment, the me versus me moment, or just kind of just sitting with, just taking inventory of what we've been able to create. What if I said, like, it tells me, like, I asked myself, what if I had said no and I was still in that corporate job? What if I've never turned in my resignation letter? All the lives that I've been able to touch, all the amazing men and women that I have now in my life. Like, I can't even imagine what my life would be 5 years later if I didn't say yes. And I don't even want to think about it. So, with that being said, thank you so much. Yes, I use it as an anthem as well. Michelle, tell us your thoughts.
Tell you my thoughts specifically about what? Could you ask a question again for me? So
Yeah,
specifically
about the
on
song,
the
about
song?
yeah, about the song.
Song. Well, it says inspired to win. And it says, this is your moment, this is your time. And it speaks about living life on purpose. So it's speaking about everything that I personally believe in. And it will never be your time if you keep on delaying, if you keep on saying no. So when you said a while ago, Nikki, that you wonder what your life would have been if you did not take that step, that's how I feel. And I'm sure that that's what Latoya and Ginny also feel. But you can never feel that if you stay in one position, if you remain stagnant and stuck. And the growth happens as you are moving forward. That is when the clarity comes. So sometimes people sit down and they're trying to plan things out and they're trying to get clarity. That's not how it happens. It happens as you're moving, as you're growing, as you're interacting with people. Today I was talking to a very dear friend of mine. Her name is also Nikki. Nikki. And I was sharing with her that I made one decision to do the Purpose to Prosperity Summit. From that, I met a slew of excellent Christian experts, world class people, who then put me in touch with other people that caused me now to grow. Now I have a whole group of persons that I am mentoring, they're mentoring me, we're sharing community. As a matter of fact, it was through that experience that I got to meet Nikki Quest. Let me tell you, when I met Nikki, you warmed my heart so much because our stories are so similar. But you do not get in community by staying by yourself. You do not get in community by staying and sitting, wandering and pondering and getting analysis paralysis. You get in community and you get learning and growing by just make up your mind and you just jump and go. Now, am I saying you're going to throw all caution to the wind? No, but a lot of it. Because a lot of it is not even God. Hey, something just came to me. I got it this week, right? But came to me to say it right now. So Peter, in the Bible, we know that he walked on the water, right? But do you realize that there were 11 other disciples in that boat who never walked on the water? They all got the same opportunity when Jesus said, come. And that is what happens. We sit down in our boats And we don't step out. And you know why we don't step out? Because when you look, when he stepped out, there was a storm, the winds and the waves and everything. And so we get nervous. But remember, I was saying it's not about me, it's about him. It's not about you, it's about him. It wasn't about Peter, it was about him. The other disciples lost out on that opportunity. What are you losing out on by staying in your boat? It's not even safe in the boat anyway. It's not even safe in the boat. And then we love to
love
say,
her
what, the
energy.
same boat? I don't want to be in the same
Yes.
boat with. I want to be in the same boat with Ginny and Nikki and Latoya and go to Times Square. That's what I want to do.
Yes.
Amen.
Well, thank you so much. I just love her energy, and it's so real when we take that time to just think about the possibilities. Like, what can you lose? What is the biggest thing you can lose? The biggest thing you can lose is leaving that legacy, leaving your name imprinted, because God said that you could, because He put you here for a reason. We just have to go and find it. He already knows what's going to happen. We just got to walk it, but we have to walk that in faith. Latoya, what are your thoughts about the taking off the shades? The on purpose.
I thank God we're all in the same spiritual vein. Michelle said everything I was going to say, but I will say that, something that me and Nikki talked about in regards to Raquel, but also in our meetings, our private one-on-ones with each other is, Nikki would say, you paid the cost to be in that room. So the words, the time is now, is don't shy away when you're in these rooms that God has blessed you with. Because just like Michelle said, she got to connect with some other women, she got to connect with some other people, and grow in that particular area and connection. And it's like the time is now. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go into those rooms. Don't be afraid to, and stand tall. You may not have millions of customers and clients, but you go in that room knowing who you are in Christ, knowing that God has you there for a reason, for a purpose, right? To bring him glory, as Michelle says. But to know that you paid the cost to be in there, all those tears, all those prayers, and and uncertainty. I can understand tremendously about not being certain. Well, Lord, I don't know. I don't have all the equipment to launch a podcast. You want me to launch a podcast? I don't even know how to do a podcast. But now look, almost 5 years later, from being obedient, I did not have all of the pieces. I did not see the full picture, but he did. So, go into those rooms. And, I love about that song, The Time Is Now, because I would have made many excuses. I would have said, oh, you sure? I don't have the money. I don't know people. I would not have met Nikki. I would not have met Dr. Tiffany Harris. I would not have met any of the people God has blessed me to meet if I would have sat there and worried about not being ready. When God is saying the time is now, the time is now. You paid the cost, go in that room, hold your head up high. This song is just, it gives you that boost that you need. You just want to, your shoulders rise up. You just want to go and conquer that thing when you listen to these lyrics.
Thank you so much. And you said a very special name that, Dr. Tiffany R. Harris, who was in the same room that I felt I did not belong in, because I thought I had nothing to offer. And we were both in this speaker competition 3.5 years ago. I'll give you the exact date because I live by that date. And that's May 14th of 2022, when my whole life changed. The only one I knew in that room was my son. I had met Emilio and Daniela, who are my first published authors. And I just talked about validation and heard Tiffany's story, heard Sister Sonia's story, heard all these stories. And I just knew that they were brought to my life, because that's what I asked God for when I turned 40, which was March of that year. I said, Lord, I just need a community that can serve me and I can serve back. And let me tell you, he listened and he delivered. And when I say he delivered, he poured community literally within a month or two. Like, my growth on just socials went up 1,000 new people, because everyone had a network behind everyone. have I been able to touch base with all of these people? I can say about a good 80%. And that was just the most beautiful thing to be able to do, which led me to connecting with Latoya. Just jumping on Tiffany's call one day and hearing Latoya speak, I was like, oh my goodness, she's amazing. She heard me speak, and then we connected, and we've been rocking for about a year and a half now, almost two. I want to say two. I've lost count because I feel like I've known her forever. And you all know that when we chat, I always tell you that we are attached at the hip, and that's something that I really truly mean. But let's talk about, thank you so much, Latoya. Let's talk about what happened. What is the biggest standout thing that happened in 2025 that you were just ready to check off the list and you were able to get that done? And what does 2026 look like for you? We're going to start with you, Latoya.
Oh, wow. One of the biggest things, and Nikki was working on this. Well, two, I'm going to just squeeze this second one in there. Two of the biggest things was we were working on sponsors for the podcast. And Nikki was working with me, and it was really causing me to come out my comfort zone, which will require me to speak up more, be a little bit more visible, make those, emails that I'm afraid to send to different sponsors and potential sponsors. So in 2025, we had 3 sponsors. So I just thank God for that. I thank God for Nikki working with me with that, helping me to get out my comfort zone. And also Nikki helped me with the book launch of my second release, Concrete Rose, Secret Place in Abba. And we released that in, I want to say it was the beginning of 2025. I know it was cold out and a little snow or something like that. But we worked on that for a while. We were looking around for different venues and things, but we were at Balm Global Studios for our book launch. So I was so grateful to be able to accomplish those 2 things. For 2026 is definitely consistency. The Lord gives me a word every year. And this year's consistency, that I'm going to be intentional to remain consistent. Even if I'm tired, even if I'm like, I don't look the best, I'm getting on there. I'm recording that podcast. I'm going to the rooms he wants me to be in, and I'm going to be present and in that moment, but I'm going to do it consistently. So 2026 is going to be amazing. I feel it so strongly in my spirit, not for me, but for all of God's people. He is going to do great and mighty things in everybody's life in 2026. I believe that.
I absolutely agree. I feel that too. I know we kind of went into 2025, thinking that, and it was a great year, but it was also a challenging year. We were faced with some challenges, right at the beginning of the year, but we made it. We made it because we had that faith. And yes, so talking about Balm Global Studios is where we are, where I am tuning in from. And it was actually a year ago this month where it was not on our radar. It was not on our to-do list. It was something that really God placed in our path. And Latoya was the first one to launch it in January. And be able to have a space for our community that they can use to do signings and have meetings and masterminds and really create the magic that we're looking for, and not just stay in this screen, right, this little square that we have. So it's been absolutely phenomenal. She also came down with one of our other lady leaders, Danielle Lawrence and Sakina. They had an amazing event here about autism awareness, which we opened the doors for that, and so much more. So much more. We're definitely looking for 2026 to really grow this space with really having more activity and things like that. So I'm so just proud of you, and thank you for the whole point of putting this community together was really to walk alongside each of the women and know that they can do it, and just share the things I've learned or the things that I've inherited or invested in, because guess what? I can't do anything with it when I'm gone, and I definitely don't want to die with it. I want to share it with as many people who is willing to accept it, and that's 100,000% true. This is it's also another one of my taglines that I use all the time, and one of our lady leaders just stamped this on here and sent it to me in the mail, and I was super grateful because this is what I truly believe in. When you take that step, and I believe that just do it has been a theme this year as well, and you just have to do it. You never know if you don't try. So we're going to go over to Michelle. What is the biggest thing that surprised you, that was great to check off the list this year, and what does 2026 look like?
So definitely the Purpose to Prosperity Summit was the biggest thing for me. And it was big for me because I never saw myself as someone who would do a conference, who would do anything like that. It certainly was not on my radar this time last year. And then I just said, okay, let me go for it. We have a thing where we say, just go big or go home, right? Or go hard and done. We said that a lot in the Caribbean. Go hard and done. And I said, okay, let me just go hard and done with this. And it was also a year where I was able to be exposed to many global stages, be on many global stages, and it was just phenomenal. And so that's why I'm saying you're listening to us here today, but that was just what happened. Remember, I just stepped out of corporate after 20 years. And God had already had this in his vision. I want you to know that you may not feel capable, but he already knows that, okay? And he really doesn't care. He still wants you to do what he wants you to do. So 2026, I'm going to be launching my own podcast in 2026 because you remember I was talking about, when you get in movement, you learn a lot about yourself. So I learned I love interviewing people. I didn't know that before. So I'm going to start my podcast, and also I'm going to move. Remember I said that 12 years ago, I just started writing the newspapers. Well, guess what? 2026, I'm going to be a published author because I will have a chapter in a book. And they have done 7 editions of this already, and they've all been bestsellers. So I will have I'll be a best-selling author also by the end of 2026, right? Go figure. And I'm going to use Latoya's word of consistency. I'm going to remain consistent. But you know what? I'm also going to remain 2 words, open and obedient. Because the word of God says, "Now unto him who can do exceedingly, abundantly, more than we can ask, think, or imagine, according to his power that works within us." So that's what I can see. That's what I can imagine. That's what I can ask for. So now I'm open to the Lord just blowing that out of the water and presenting me with so many more opportunities that I would never have thought of. I never thought of that book up to 3 weeks ago. I never did. And then the opportunity just landed. So open and obedient. And that is what I ask everybody listening to us. Be open and obedient. And you've got to say yes. Even when you're scared, even when you're sick, say yes. All right?
Yes, absolutely. Say yes to you when everyone is saying no. Your life will absolutely change because guess what? Once you start showing up, once you start showing up, life will change. It just absolutely will. I didn't think I was going to become a podcast host. I know I started a YouTube channel. I remember left it sitting there for 2 years, just collecting dust with one video. And it took my publisher to say, hey, I would love for you to co-host with me in June, right? This May. I'm in the speaker competition, meeting these amazing people. June, I decide to co-host with him for that month. And then one of about 2 or 3 of the guests would say, "Dad, Nikki, you are good at this. Like you, I think you need to have your own show." And I'm like, no. July, I get into this podcast training. Right on that podcast training, they're like, okay, this is everything you have to do. Now you're going to go on mute, right there and then, and you're going to record your first podcast. Like, they had me set up an account, they had me do all that. So I'm like, okay. So then I go into doing that. August, I'm all audio. September, I am live. I'm like, I'm in community. Like, other people need to hear other people share their stories. I can't be the only one to share the challenges, because there's so many different things that the world could relate to. And I just had to make this happen. And I did. And now we're 200 interviews done. And we're not even ending this year with 200. We're ending it with 202 because we just recorded and featured them. So it's just amazing to be able to meet amazing individuals. So Jenny, I have a question for you, because I know that we had shared like what your 2025 and what your 2026 looks like. But let's just talk about really quick. Oh my God, I had my question for you and then I went on a tangent. There I go. So let's talk about the taking off the shades moment for you. Now, if you don't know what Taking Off the Shades book is about, it's really just about relationships, the relationships that we have, right? Whether it's with ourselves, with God, with a significant other. We have 37 chapters in this book. So 37 of our lady leaders decided to share that. Now, my chapter was about Beyond I Do, right? That was my title, because I've been married for 23 years, but I had to find Nikki Cuesta. Like, I still had to do Nikki Cuesta, even when my spouse didn't agree on me leaving corporate, me leaving whatever. So my taking off the shades moment is that Nikki Cuesta is still Nikki Cuesta, right? Some taking off the shade moments were that they had to identify something in their life where they had to flip that switch and make that change. Can you share what would be a taking off the shade moment for you?
Oh, wow. I've had a few over the past year or so. I think the first one was just coming into the realization when, after I had my first book published, that realization of I am a published author. And, it's not a dream, it's not a fantasy, this is real. And at that point in time, yeah, I took off the shades. I allowed myself to just, scream, holler, cry, shout in the parking lot of the building that I worked in. So no telling who saw what, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, so that was the moment that other authors in my genre, I write horror thriller. I started off writing children's books, and I'm in horror thriller now. The moment that other best-selling authors noticed me, and they were like, come on here. Come on here and be with us, and let's commune, and let's, share ideas. That was a moment where it was like, okay, because I'm always questioning myself. I know we're always questioning, and, that's what's keeping us from taking the next step or, opening that door. We're always questioning, am I supposed to be here? Is this where I'm going? And for me, for that moment, it's like, okay, they want me here. They're engaging with me. They're boosting me. And so I felt like that's amazing. But the part that got me to thinking I need to take off my shades is I shouldn't have somebody else having to do that for me. I should be able to do that for me. It shouldn't be about somebody saying, yeah, you are worthy. Like Latoya said, we should be able to say that about ourselves. We are worthy. It's our time, all of that. So that was another one. I've had multiple take off my shades moments this year. I've made it to the bestseller list 3 times this year for 3 different books in multiple categories. And I'm just like, this is really happening. And I kind of take it in stride and keep going. And then, when you have that moment behind closed doors, when you're actually like, oh my God, that moment after you've done this amazing thing, and you're just like that Aunt Vivian moment in the Fresh Prince, where she collapses after that amazing dance routine. That's what it's like. It's like, I did it. So yeah, but afterwards, that feeling of joy, that feeling of, okay, if I can do this, what else can I do? So yeah, there were many of those moments throughout the year, and I'm looking forward to 2026, where there will be more moments. I can't wait to see what all of you are doing, because when you're celebrating, I'm celebrating with you. And I got to stand with all of my sisters and brothers who are trying to do what they can, not to make themselves better, to make the world better, to bring knowledge and upliftment to everybody. So yeah, very much appreciate you all for what you're doing and what you're about to do.
Yes, likewise for you, love. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Nikki,
This, go ahead, Michelle.
Nikki, if I can just make this important point, very often persons who are listening to us are in corporate, and so you're in an environment where people are competing against each other, and so you figure that the rest of the world, everybody's going to be in competition. What I have found is that with entrepreneurs, it's more of a community of everybody trying to help the other person, because everybody knows just how hard it is and how much you have to overcome, in order for you to be successful. So it's a different world where people are always trying to help you. And so for the person who's listening and they're so scared because where are they going to get support from? It's a different world when you start working, for yourself, and you start pouring into other people, because you can't be selfish about it, and they will start pouring into you. So I just wanted to make that interjection, because that's
Yeah,
why so many people are in fear. Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. And we're going to all give you all a moment to share your final thoughts. And just, it's remarkable. Again, I never knew this world existed once upon a time. If I knew this 20 years ago, I think I would be ahead of the game. But it wasn't my time. God didn't put that in in the path for me. I had to go through it. And most of entrepreneurs start after 30 and 40, even 50. Like I've seen women just in this world start even in their 60s, because you know what? It's never too late to leave your mark on the world. I am just blessed and get to love what I do and get to love. So this is my public thank you to each of you ladies for joining the Balm Global podcast family. I am super excited that we are celebrating 200 interviews. Can't wait to what 2026 brings to this broadcast, but we are going bigger and larger. We are, as I stated, we are in the middle of a 50-state tour. So if you want to know about our next location happening May of 2026, definitely join our empower2inspire.com, or just go on the website, see what's coming up. It is our 3 pillars of first, it's a dream. So you dream it first, and then you build it, and then you elevate it. So those are the 3 pillars that we take you through on this journey with experts. We have a lot of our members hitting the stage. We've already kicked it off in Chicago this May. We were in Las Vegas in October. So we're heading over to Houston, Texas in May, again, 2026, because that's just my month. I just really, I think our executive manager, Sandra Martinez, who is also my best friend for 39 years, said May is just your month. We need to just claim it, Nikki Cuesta month or Balm Global month. So I'm going to see what I can do with that. But it has been a journey. It hasn't been easy, but it has been worth every single tear, every single connection, every single moment that God has given me to do this. I live, breathe this every single day. And again, building a leadership mindset, it's something that it's an ongoing process for life. It does not go away. We're always going to have some new perspective of how we can make something happen. And I love that Jenny said about doing the work that impacts the world. And people are waiting on us. People are waiting on you. So if you're listening here, whether you're an entrepreneur already, you're doing great things, keep going. But if you're on that other side and you are really, something's tugging at your heart and your soul, that is the sign, that's the whisper. Just take one step closer. Connect with someone, whether it's our community, these ladies community, definitely connect with them. You just never know where life is going to take you. And we're going to keep bringing amazing individuals to this podcast. And I'm thinking, like, when we get to 500, we need to have a whole live events for all of our past guests. So look out for that. We have I don't know how long it's going to take to get 300 more guests, but we're going to be working on it for sure. Thank you so much, ladies. But I'm going to go around the room. I know we're a little bit over. It's okay. I would love for you to give your final thoughts to our audience today, Latoya.
Yes, I just want to say, what just really just keeps coming up in my spirit is to trust the Lord. There are so many amazing things. Yes, we have plans, but God knows the right path we should take. He knows what room to go in. He knows we should go left when we want to go right. Trust the Lord. He knows what's best. And I'm telling you, he will blow your mind. Just trust him.
Yes, I just have to go. I just have to comment on that about blowing your mind. 3 years in, I wanted to write one book. I am now a 17-time published author, about to be 18. Wasn't in the cards. I've served over 1,000 women, helped most start LLCs, get on stages, get connected, sponsorships, awards I didn't even think that, I was even worthy of, that those even existed. But I didn't do it for all of that. I did it for the smile, for the conversation, for the relationship that I have with each and every one of my guests, each and every person that I serve. That's how he blew my mind. All I wanted to do was create impact. How that looked, didn't know. But if that's what you want, you have to take that step. You have to take that step. Michelle, you're up.
After that, what do I say? Well, I was thinking of a slingshot. And when you're trying to use a slingshot to hit a giant, you have to pull it back. And so many persons are listening. You feel as though you have been pulled back in your career, etc., etc. If it wasn't for your pulling back, Nikki, you would never have done this. And look at the impact now. And so you feel pulled back. It is because you're going to be propelled. So get ready in that pulling back season. Make sure that you're getting everything that you ought to be getting, including strengthening your faith and your character, so that when you are propelled, you are ready. And that's what I do with all of my clients. I'm preparing them so that when their moment, right, it will be, this is your moment, this is your time, they're ready. And I just look forward to serving so many more people in doing that for 2026 and beyond.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much, Michelle. I seen Latoya back there. She's like, amen, hallelujah. I was feeling that. You are being propelled. So if you're in that moment that you feel that you're in that setback, get ready for that comeback. Okay, Jenny, you are up.
Wow. Gee, this is gonna be rough. Wow, y'all are, man. Man, what can I say? Yeah, I want to go back to talking about fear, and how that can really have such a stronghold on us. And I want everyone who's listening to know it's okay to operate in fear. It's okay to move forward in fear. Just keep going. Don't let it hold you back. Don't let it consume you. I can tell you right now, when I wrote my first book, it sat for 20 years because I was so scared. And things had to move in a certain way in order for me to move forward. And they did. But, just the fact that, I could have done this way longer ago and been, maybe further along, who knows, but it had to happen in that way. And so whenever you're feeling like I just can't, don't let that ground you. You got to keep moving forward. And, we're here to tell you, we've all been there. It can be terrifying, but don't let that hold you in the spot that you're in, because you don't know what's waiting for you around the corner. You don't know who's waiting for you around the corner that might be willing to take your hand and say, come on, let's go together. So, and this is what this is all about, this community of women and people who are in the same shoes or who have been in those shoes and who are telling you you can do it. And I'm telling you, you can do it. You can do it, whatever it is. Just make yourself known that you can do this, and don't let that fear keep you from doing it. Okay?
Absolutely, absolutely. Command the presence that God has given you. Again, every room is another opportunity to be able to showcase who you are and what you do and how you serve. And people are going to gravitate to that. What I don't want you to do is to get into a community. Any community that you get into is start comparing yourself, because everybody's at a different pace. We're all at a different level. Everybody probably had 20 years background. Some may have a year. That's okay. The purpose of you being in that room is so that you can soak everything that they are willing to pour into you. It's not to say, oh my goodness, they're just doing more than me, and I'm, maybe this is not for me. Yes, it is. Community is for you. You have to know how to leverage it, and that's why it is built. Because every single entrepreneur that I have come in contact to has been ready to help. Whether it's one idea, whether it's, how can I support, right? Don't fall into the trap of that you are not good enough. You are just as good enough as everyone else beside you, and people are going to receive you. You just have to be visible to them. So I want to leave you with that. Just know that you were put in this world on purpose, for a purpose, by the King Almighty, and He knows your path. You just have to walk in it faithfully. Yes, fear will meet you through every single journey, through every single level. And that just goes back to that self-sabotage. Don't let those things hold you back. They're just a part of the journey. They are not the journey. The journey is through that joy. You have to love what you do. And it's just amazing. Thank you all, ladies, for just being just super awesome, for doing what you're doing to make this world better. Let's stay connected in 2026. Thank you all for showing up for this week-long celebration. It has been absolutely phenomenal. Again, re-seeing faces that I haven't seen in a while and seeing some familiar faces that I see all the time, and being able to share them with you all here. And if you haven't been on the Balm Global podcast and you would like to be on the Balm Global podcast, reach out to me, Nikki Cuesta, on all platforms. I would love to hear your story, get you on here, and celebrate you as well. Thank you so much all for joining us. Have a great evening. And as I always close this show up with, is to make it count. Bye, everyone.
See you.
Bye,
Blessings.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.